Hello students, I'm your SST faculty at Excellence. So today we are going to learn a concept called democracy, which is in your class 9 civic book, chapter number 1. So let's start. So as we know that India is a democratic nation, right? India is the largest democratic nation. Now, what is democracy? See, we have been listening from news channels, we have been reading in newspapers or from our family members, from our teachers, we have been listening the term democracy, right? So we have to understand now what is democracy and why democracy is important in our country. So let's start with the definition first, right? So democracy is a form of government in which the rulers are elected by the people. Now, if we break down the words, then see, in a democracy we have to have people, that means citizen. You have to have election, right? And we have to have a ruler who will actually rule our country, right? So democracy is a form of government. That means there are other form of government also. So we will learn the other form of government in our next class, but now understand the concept of democracy. Okay, democracy is a form of government in which rulers are elected by the people. That means the citizen have the right to choose their ruler through election. Right, through election, the citizen have the right to choose their leader. Okay, for example, in our classroom, we have class representative, right? So we choose our representative through voting. So that is how we, the citizen, also vote for our ruler. Okay, through voting system, and that we know as election. Okay. Now, what is non-democracy? Right, we have to know the other form of government. Okay, so let's understand what is non-democracy. Okay. Let's understand with an example, right? So in Myanmar, if you can see, there is an army rule, right? Army rule, that means those who are controlled by the army, they only can become the ruler, right? The participation of masses or the participation of citizenship is not considered in Myanmar, right? People cannot vote for their ruler because it is controlled by the army, right? So that is why we can say that Myanmar is not a democratic country, right? So another example is Chile, which is in South America, right? So in Chile also, one particular person rule the whole country, and that form of government is called dictatorship, where the people, the citizen, cannot vote for their ruler because particular one person control the whole country, right? So the next form of government where we can see the king's rule, right? So in king's rule, the will of the people, the will of the citizens is not considered. Okay, the king will be the ruler for the next generation, right? And that form of government is called monarchy. Why so? Why the citizen don't raise their voice? Because simple, the kings were born in a royal families. That is why they rule the whole country. For example, Saudi Arabia. Okay, we can take the example of Saudi Arabia, where one particular king ruled the whole country without concerning the citizens' will. So another example is Nepal, our neighboring country. So Nepal was a monarchy for about 239 years. But in 2018, Nepal abolished the king system and they established the federal government. Okay. Okay. So as we have understood democracy, right? In a democracy where people can vote, people have the right to choose their leader, that means it is a good form of government. So is this definition enough to know or to understand the democracy? Definitely not, right? Every country wanted to become a democratic country, right? Because it is a good form of government. So how can we distinguish who is democratic and who are pretending to be the one? So we can distinguish through knowing its features, right? So in our next class, we will study the features of democratic government or the features of democracy. Thank you.